What's up, guys? Evil here. This is the my next build project. This is the Sakura D3 purpose-built counter steer spec drift car. It comes stock with an overdriven rear axle, which most of the modern drift cars you see have been converted to what they call counter steer. This is one of the first kits coming out that is built to do that out of the box. Instead of being a converted touring car, this is a purpose-built drift car. So drift is getting really big, so the companies are starting to respond by, you know, building kits the way people have been modding other kits now for a while. So this kit seemed like a really good deal for the money, and you do not have to modify it to get counter steer. Like I say, the pulleys and everything are already there. It's already belt driven. Has what they call a pre-motor design. The motor's up front, so I'm not going to get too in depth with it. There haven't been any other build videos of this yet on YouTube that I've seen, only reviews and things to fix belt tension issues and stuff like that. So I'm just going to get to it and start putting this thing together. I'll document any issues that I run into for you guys, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's crack it open. So you'll notice in here there's a shipping label. I ordered this from some Chinese company because there's not that many domestic retailers carrying them, and the buttholes turned the box inside out and shipped it in the box. So kind of sucks. I don't really like the fact that someone opened my kit and, you know, possibly lost parts. We will see that as we go. So I'm going to go ahead and tear into this thing and start building. So I ordered a couple extra parts that don't come with it. One is the one-way. This is the front one-way. It helps to create a emergency braking effect. When you let off the gas and drag brake or motor braking kicks in, the one-way allows the front wheels to free spin. So that gives more of a, you know, like you jerked on the e-brake kind of a deal. Helps the thing step out. So a very popular mod on drift cars. And the one that, you know, everybody's doing to this thing, so I'm just going to do it as I build it. These are just a couple of other aftermarket body mounting systems, so you don't have to drill holes. I didn't know which one would be best, so I ordered both. We'll get into those a little bit later on. Chassis, just a standard injection molded chassis. I ordered this belt tensioner. This thing stock has a really floppy top belt, and this belt tensioner is not for this kit. It's for the Sakura Zero, which is their touring car, but I'm going to modify it to work on this car. Looks like we got knuckles and axle stubs. It's like a rear diffuser and bumper. Comes with its own wheels and tires. These don't strike me as super nice, but they're probably good enough to beat on. Looks like front and rear spool. We got belt spur gear, axle towers. Looks like bulkheads. Shocks, servo saver, ball ends, front and rear A-arms, and then stickers, and a manual. And I took all that out just to get to the manual. Alright, well, build's been going pretty good. For the center belt tension, a lot of people have been putting the spacers underneath these rear pulley arms. I wanted something a little more elegant. This is the belt tensioner for the Sakura Zero, which is SAK 58PK. It works just fine. I found this center post to be a little bit short, so I put like a 4mm spacer underneath there. That raised the tensioner up quite a bit. Gets the top belt in pretty good shape. Not too bad. We'll see how it works, but anyway, the belt tensioner, center belt tensioner off of the Sakura Zero works just fine on the D3. So other than that, drivetrain's pretty much done now. One way's installed. Just time to get the shocks and links built and throw some electronics in it. Should be ready to go. What's up, guys? Evil here. This is just an update on the drift cars. I threw a little teaser out a little bit ago. Talked about the Sakura D3 that I had on order, and I'm babysitting my daughter. She's hanging out down here with me, and I've since built it up and driven it, and have my initial opinions of it. Just going to talk about it a little bit here, and just let you know what I think. I think I already said that. Anyway. So here's the Sakura D3 all built up. Build went fairly smooth. Plastics are all okay. A lot of people complained about issues threading the bolts and screws into the plastic. Didn't have an issue there. I have a decent set of hex drivers. I also have the little drill thing there. No issues, nothing stripped out. Did notice some stuff heat up, but nothing major. Plastics wise, I think that the car is pretty solid. Where the car fails a little bit is in the metals and just the turnbuckle area. All of them were actually okay except for one, but the threads on one were so terrible that I couldn't even thread in the rod end on it. So on the back I actually have some spare TC4 turnbuckles that I used to get it going. The aluminums are okay. They're not high quality, very light. Like the rear spool is solid aluminum, but completely amazed at how light it is. So don't think it's really really great aluminum. I did order the belt tensioner to try and keep the belt a little tighter. It's not terrible. And then I installed the one-way off the bat. A lot of people are shredding this front belt when they're not running the front one-way. I guess it's pretty hard on and under braking, but since this has the one-way, when you hit the brakes, the front wheel is just freewheel. So my front belt is holding up okay. So that brings me to initial impressions of the car driving it. For electronics, Tican RS, Redline 17.5. And then I've run several different wheels and tires and things on it. The car is, and I'm no expert drifter, so a lot of people who do drift are probably going to think, oh, you're just in love or whatever, but really, really, really tough car to drive. When the rear end on the thing steps out, it's pretty much just gone. In my opinion, the overdrive ratio is way, way, way too much. So I'm waiting on the manufacturer to come out with new pulleys, and I'm gonna bring that overdrive ratio way down. So I just think it's way too much. I've also been fighting the setup a lot. I've tried all kinds of different setups, trying to get the car to hook up. It's just not there. So a lot of people say this car drifts great out of the box. I've only drifted it here in my shop. Here's my little candy cane drifter course I set up down here just to kind of test with. I have not had good luck on this concrete with the car. Really, really tough to drive. So this is going to be an ongoing project. I did order some upgrades for it that are on the way, so on the slow boat from China. So I'm not done with the car. So my opinion on whether this car is a purchase, like I said, I can't comment from a experienced drifter's point of view. Reviews I've read early on were pretty positive from people who are in the drifting scene. Alright, again, so my opinion on this car from a drifter point of view, you probably take with a grain of salt because I'm not an experienced drift car driver. From a very experienced hobbyist point of view, is the car worth buying? I think for the price point it is. It's not bad at all. The little glitches I had with it were pretty minor. Other issues I had with it besides the machining on the turnbuckles were some of the screws were just completely wrong. They sent button heads that should have been flats. Just a few little errors like that, but nothing, no showstoppers, no big deal. Just hit the screw bin, finished building it up. A lot of complaints were that this spur gear wobbles. Mine does not, extremely tight. That all seems to be just fine on mine. I don't see any need to upgrade that hub, but this belt is really loose stock, so, and getting looser by the minute. So for the price point, I think I paid 120 some bucks for this thing shipped. Well worth it. So yeah, is the car a purchase? I think so. At the price point, it's not bad. Just don't have any, unless you're an experienced driver who knows a lot about setup, don't expect to be, you know, out just, you know, drifting up a storm with this thing, because it's really tough to drive. And the few local owners I know that have them say the same thing. We're all going to try some different setup things to try and tame the car. So I've also changed my heading a little bit on this. Instead of doing the Impreza body on it, which I tried it, wheelbase a little bit different, so the fit wasn't great. So I have an HPI Prova Impreza that I'm going to put on it. I picked up these wheels for it. So, asking for opinions on what color body is going to go with these neon green wheels. Let me know what you guys think. I was thinking maybe like a dark charcoal gray, something like that. Let me know what you guys think. So anyway, that's the Sakura D3. I'll shoot a little bit of running video here in the garage, and then there are drift meets happening now, so I'll definitely shoot video next time I head out to one of those. Over here is my associated TC4, which I kind of detailed a little bit in some earlier videos. I was pretty disappointed with this thing when I drove it on carpet. I mean, I hated it, but I drove it for the first time since I moved into this house, and I loved it. I love the way this car handles. When you throw it into a slide and give it power, I mean, it wants to pull out. So it does really well for a 50/50 drifter. Desperately searching for a one-way for it. I think that's going to really help the understeer problems it has. Just a blip at the throttle will send the thing into a slide, but I would like to be able to just tap the brake and get it to step out. Anyway, the TC4, really solid car. I'm really pleased with it. I decided I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to set up this body and then the other one. So I'm just going to have two cars. I'll have a counter steer car and a 50/50 car. So anyway, enough blabbering. I'm going to shoot a little bit of running video for you guys. Alright, so here we go. Sakura D3, completely stock PVC tires. And associated TC4 with a Gorilla down rear diff and a super loose front diff. So anyway, there you have it. TC4 for me is a lot more controllable, so that's what I'm going to be driving until I get the overdrive issue under control on the Sakura. Well, looks like I got some competition out here.